Alright guys, so today we are going to be talking about the purple Gundam F91. So keep that in mind, this is just the regular standard F91. This is not your full power green F91 that JP has gotten, I want to say roughly about 6 or 7 months ago as a limited unit. So this one's a standard while that one is a limited, so kind of keep that in mind. In terms of this one, like me personally, I have not seen this unit in JP because I never actually pull it, so I never actually got the chance to use it. So this is actually my first time taking a look at the whole kit, and to be honest, is actually not that bad. When we do take a look at the totality of the whole kit, plus or minus the transcendent skill, this unit seems pretty promising. But I feel like this is gonna be one of those, and again one of those units that is a pretty high maintenance, meaning you do need a lot of work to be done to make this unit great. I guess that could be said for every single unit out there, so I think that's definitely a statement that's kind of irrelevant in a way, right? But we will take a look at the whole kit first, and then we will jump into the transcendent skill last. That's how we usually do things. So stat wise, we are not really going to pay too much attention to because they are always fluctuating here and there given the level that we are progressively going up. So there isn't really any point to really take a look at them except for like your armor unit and all that good stuff. But EX skill wise, a level 5 beam saber to one targeted or to one of the lowest HP enemy, 578% attack damage, so that's right where it should be in a sense. To sell for 20 seconds, increase EX or the evasion rate by 36%, so that's really high amount for maxing out. So I want to say when you're starting out, it should probably be like a good low 20 or just maybe 20%. That's pretty much it, but 20% is actually pretty good already, so that's pretty interesting. And then for another 20 seconds, increase beam damage by 50%, so that's another sizable increase as well. And then when we take a look at the skill 1, whenever EX is activated for 10 seconds, increase movement by 48%. Okay, that's pretty neat. So this one, moving fast for a generic unit isn't necessarily something that's to boast about. If you are a melee unit or any of your close combat raid unit, they will be hugely benefiting that a lot because they do need to be close to hit the target, so for them it's actually pretty beneficial. But for a generic unit, I guess it's fine to have it, but I guess it is not gonna allow you to dodge more. They don't calculate, I don't think they calculate them together like that, but I think generally if you can move faster, you supposedly could dodge. So yeah, so that should, I think that should be a pretty good utility wise as well. So I guess we'll take that. And then for skill 2, we unlock the beam launcher, and then whenever EX is activated for 10 seconds, increase EX skill gauge by 41%. So your EX skill gauge is gonna get or recover faster by 41%. So that is good. All right, that's really good because when we do take a look at the whole kit, everything does seems to revolve around being able to activate an EX skill, so you can trigger some bonus effects as well. So okay, that's pretty important. Maybe high 50 would be a good percentage. I feel like 41% is still a little bit low, but then again, that is better than not to have, right? And then when battle begins, increase beam damage by 11%. So when we do take a look at just the base kit itself without transcendent skill, there aren't necessarily a lot of ways for this unit to supposedly deal high damage, because the only thing you're getting out of it is just the 11%, and then the other thing is just being able to activate EX skill faster. So in terms of EX skill gauge or just activating that, you are able to gain some beam damage, so that's that's a positive, and also increase your evasion. So it does make sense why they have skill 2 the way it is, so that's definitely nothing to complain about. And then weapon wise, they are pretty self-explanatory: beam saber, beam rifle, beam launcher. So I think they have their correct designated power, so that's pretty good. But the hit is actually pretty low on them, so as far as actually charging them, it could be a problem because we do need higher accuracy, so you don't want to ever miss a shot. So that's definitely something to consider about. But the transcendent skill, my gosh, they They were packing with this unit. Was it always like this? I honestly don't even remember. Like I feel like this is something. Yeah, I don't like. Wow, that's a lot. You're getting another 25% evasion. You're getting another 36% permanent beam damage. EXQ recover by 50% right out the bat. So right out the bat, like this unit looks good because if it's already 50%, you should be able to trigger the EXQ faster. That means you are able to cycle in this faster. So overall, like with a decently investment, this unit could look pretty promising. And then whenever EXQ is activated for 10 seconds, increase beam damage by 50%. Wow. And then another additional evasion and then accuracy. Oh wow. Yeah. This unit kind of cooking, okay, but I do feel like the whole problem, or if you want me to talk about a problem with this unit, is solely relies on popping EXQ. It's not a bad thing for sure, but there are a lot of things in here that cater towards you popping the EXQ. Then for the 10 seconds, it gives you XYZ. So I do feel like this unit will never be able to capitalize on just having a maximum buffing, because you are some duration you're just going to be fizzling out. Like I don't know approximately how long this unit may charge its EXQ. I think probably 20 seconds is a good margin, and then if you consider that 41%, I think it probably drops you down to like a good maybe 16 to 18 seconds, depending on how accurate your shots are, like actually landing them and then actually hitting the target for you to gain the EXQ gauge, because that's how it works. If you don't land or hit, you're not getting anything out of that. So it really depends on how the functionality of the unit is. And keep in mind, we are talking about the transcendent skill. So unless you are a player that wants to completely boss off with this F91, like chances are if you just put one copy, it's not going to be good. So with that said, this unit is a fairly high investment. If we are talking about using your rainbow coins, they are better units out there for you to invest on rather than this one. I do sense that the longevity of this unit may not be for that far out, so definitely I would say not a unit for the majority of the player base to invest into. So there you guys have it. But let's take a look at Seabook. Let's see how it's doing. I know from playing on the JP side, I use Seabook for for a lot of purpose, because when we do take a look at the skill 1 and skill 2, it is actually quite functional in a sense. Skill 1 is definitely pretty beneficial to any purple and generic, so there's definitely nothing to complain about right there. And again, it focuses on being able to activate the EXQ, then you trigger that effect. So right off the bat, you are not really benefiting from anything, so that's why it comes at a price, because if you're not popping EXQ, there are a lot of buffs that you're not able to receive, so that is a problem. When we do take a look at the skill 2, although it looks pretty promising, but there may be a few here and there that it's not really gonna work, like on the third effects, the one that's for the Cosmo Babylonian. So that one is only for I guess the F91 series in a way. So other than that, that's the only one that's not gonna work. But when we take a look at things like Gundam type, prototype, protagonist unit, and white mobile suit, all of these are applicable to many of the other protagonist unit, or just many of the other Gundams. So as far as the utility of this palette is definitely up there, but I just feel like the main one from skill 1, like it's gonna be a hassle to try to get them activated, because you do have to align your EXQ, you do have to activate to gain the buff. So although it's good, but there are definitely some drawbacks to it. So it's definitely not the most perfect palette, but it's definitely something to get worked on, because this is actually not bad. Like for this one, you can just kind of say maybe 5 out of the 6 with skill 2 is pretty much applicable to majority of your Gundam type or just Gundam base units out there. So overall, it's definitely a pretty solid palette for sure. As far as the F91 itself, definitely the problem lies around you having to pop EXQ all the time to benefit a lot of the buffs, and it's definitely a high maintenance for this unit to I guess compete in the high level. So I think overall I definitely do skip because next week we are getting the Kribble, so I think a lot of people are anticipating that one anyways. So with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it, and I'll be catching you guys out on the next one.